Alrighty, y'all. So, today's chest day and tries. It should be back and buys, but my upper back and traps still feel a little sore. So we're going to go ahead and just switch those this week and hit chest and tries, and then day after tomorrow we'll be back in buys. That's no big problem. So we're going to go ahead and start off on the flat bench. Going to start warming up and probably work up to like 205, I think maybe. I think we're going to shoot 4 sets of 8 today, 5 sets, and we're going to start just increasing our volume while we're bringing the weight down a little bit. We are starting to look to controlling calories and stuff a little bit, so we're going to go into a deficit. So we're definitely not going to want to obviously be trying to lift as heavy as possible. You're going to lose a little bit of strength and all that stuff, and you're likely to injure yourself if you're in a deficit and trying to lift heavy, which definitely not looking to do. Injuries are not fun, and yeah, let's hit this. So, we've done our warm-up sets. We went 95, 135, 155, 185. Now we've got 205 on the bar. These are going to be our working sets. Some people say, you only need 2 warm-up sets or 3. Some do 4. I try to stay between 3 or 4. I just kind of judge on how my body feels for the weight I'm going to do my working sets at. If you could do it in 2 sets, that's great. If you're just starting out, most likely it's going to be like 2 sets because you're going to be at your working weight very fast. But the higher your working weight gets, I feel like it's going to be more warm-up sets to get there because you don't want to make really large jumps. That's in my opinion. I at least don't enjoy doing large weight jumps on the bench press. I feel like it actually creates less reps I can get out at each given set. So I feel like the central nervous system and like the muscle itself just isn't ready to put in that type of work until you've warmed up effectively for that muscle group, and everybody's a little bit different. So that's the way I do it, normally 3 or 4 sets. So let's go ahead and hit these working sets and then we'll move on. On to dumbbell incline presses. We're going to start with 45s. We're just going to do 10 to 12 rep sets, just moving up in weight, and we'll see where we end at. Alrighty, y'all. So we worked up to 45, 50, 55, 60-pound dumbbells on the incline dumbbell press. So that was 4 total sets. One of them didn't record. I pushed a photo instead of video, but you know, here's what it is. So now we're gonna go ahead and start doing flies. We're gonna start with 30 pounds, see how those feel today, and we'll either stay there or maybe we'll move up to 40 pounds. But let's get them going. So I like to hit these nice and slow, super controlled, the large squeeze. We've already loaded the muscles pretty heavy, so I'm not necessarily looking to get as heavy as possible now, but I am looking for the longest time under tension with the most effort. Okay, so now that we're done with chest flies, we've tore up the chest. It's got a great big pump. Feels pretty fatigued, so we're gonna go ahead and move on to triceps. We're gonna hit some tricep extensions with the short bar today instead of using the rope first, and then we'll use the rope on overhead, and then we'll go from there. I like to try to keep my elbows pressed into my rib cage, so that way I'm not cheating these reps any. And I get a real tight contraction on the triceps, keeping them nice and slow and controlled. Without having to use a ridiculous amount of weight. Because as the weight gets heavier for me in tricep movements, and even like flies, during flies, my bicep tendons right here, they start to get a little irritated once I'm up over 40 pounds. So if I'm flying like 50 pound, 60 pound flies, I start to get a lot of discomfort in the elbows and the ligaments for the biceps. Same kind of with tricep extensions. Once those get up over like 70, 80 pounds or so, the back of my freaking elbows here just become real annoyed and irritated and pretty tender all the time. So the longer you can go with a lighter weight but still achieve a really big pump and your muscles are sore the next day, you know, it's not really worth putting all that extra weight on. Like, unless you're trying to compete or you're enhanced, like, there's no real big benefits to it. As long as you're over time getting stronger or leaner or slightly bigger, you know, like there's no reason to really jump super massively ahead in the weight stats. We're gonna go ahead and move into overhead rope tricep extensions. I like hitting them with the rope overhead, mostly because of the big stretch you get in the triceps and the contraction that you can really feel from it. To me, as long as your elbows will allow you to do it, this is probably one of the better tricep extension movements you can do. It's the only one you can do that hits it with the tricep fully stretched and extended. So with that, I mean, there's not really much you could do to replace it other than say like a skull crusher and this for, you know, your two normal simple movements. And if it ain't broken, don't fix it. So let's go ahead and get these done. So I try to get my arms as flat as I can with my back for the most stretch, and just nice and slow and controlled. Oh. Oh. Whew. That pump though. So I feel it most here on this outer head of the tricep, and that's what really gives you that nice big point down into the elbow, in my opinion, you know? So, looks good. All right, so we've done and finished up with those overhead tricep extensions. So now we're gonna go ahead and finish off with our good old trusty cable crunches here, and we'll be done for the day. So let's get these things knocked out. So some days I like to brace against the frame of the cable rack. Some days I stand up straight and don't really brace into it. Today I kind of feel more like one of those brace days. It gives me a lot more control and tension over the cable. It doesn't allow me to like cheat or throw my body in any weird direction because I'm basically braced at the hips at this point. Whoa. But, whew, man, feeling it today. They are sore. Oh. So, with that today, we are buttoned up now. Finished for what we're going to do for the overall workout. I'm going to do 2 more sets of this off camera and get finished out. But hey, if you guys followed along today, thank you. I appreciate it. Hit that like and subscribe. Let's get this community going. And remember, don't be a lazy piece of shit. Go do something today.